Okay, y'all. Sadly, I'm here on some sad news in regards to our most darn gone iconic YouTuber. Honey, have y'all heard about darn gone Whitney and Felipe getting a divorce? I'm actually upset about this shit. Now, we all grew up, well, at least us Type 4 naturals, honey. Shout out to the Type 4 gang, honey. I actually just washed my hair today, got it up in some fresh twist, honey. And shoot, I wish I had the product with me over here, but I just tried this new product today it is unlike anything else that I've tried. I'm surprised. Where is it? The Talia Rigid. I ain't used Talia Rigid in a long time. Like I used to use the Talia Rigid, the detangler. I used to love it. But now they done came out with this apple-based product. It literally smells like a Granny Smith apple and everything. And it acts like a gel in my hair, but it's the texture of a cream. It's something so unique, honey. I can't wait to see what these results come out looking like, honey. Also, I opened up my new bottle of Vitalize, the stem cell serum, to get this situation in the middle, under control, since a lot of y'all want to come for my darn on hair, honey. So we trying to get it together. But unfortunately, speaking of getting it together, it look like our darn on together, darn on iconic couple done called it quits, honey. Saying that she cheated on him. He saying that she was the one that cheated on him and all that. First, they were saying Felipe was in love with one of the subscribers. Then he saying no, they was her that was in love with one of the subscribers. I believe the truth is somewhere in the middle, honey. Maybe they was darn on already, and she already said they was separate for a moment. So maybe they darn on started darn on talking to other people, and unfortunately, it happens to be, instead of going to the DM, honey, they went straight to the YouTube comments, honey. Lord Jesus. Giving me flashback to Taryn Guy, honey. Y'all remember they used to say Taryn Guy, aka I said I Roku. I used to always say I believe her name used to be I said Nacharu. But she changed it to I said I Roku. And then now she done changed the shit again. I said, Lord G, I can't keep up with her. I remember the bitch when she was just Taryn 916. And then Taryn Guy, but when she went with all of that shit to my darn on old school naturalistas, y'all know who I'm referring to. But yeah, they said darn on she got with some married man that had them darn on children with him, honey. Now we got darn on Felipe and Whitney gone. And then, of course, somebody from the conscious community had to give their little intake on it. I seen Oshay do Jackson's response to the shit. And he brought up something very similar to what B Simone brought up about, hypergamy and, women should be dating quality. And that's true to a certain extent. But my thing is this, it was like, okay, somewhat right message, but wrong situation to apply it to. Because for us that's been following Whitney, we know that she got with him when they were in high school. And he was the breadwinner for a time being. So Whitney's situation is very much like the Housewives of Atlanta. Like all of them started out being, depending on the husband. And as the show goes on, all the housewives end up making more money than the husband. And I don't believe in those types of situations. I'm tying all this together. So this is not just talking about Whitney's situation, because unfortunately, it's really none of our concern. But, since they always been on our cameras for the longest, and, with the vlogs, and we ain't seen them, it's somewhat hurting to hear that they done broke up. So we have to touch on it. But we also going to bring it into another subject about, should women feel compelled to do what men do to women, where they get put on and they leave them for a white boy in the early morning, every time of need. Oh, she'll go way over town. She ain't looking for a broke nigga. Honey, is we darn gonna expect these motherfuckers to act like Kanye now? I'm just gonna rap like I'm Kanye. She's a scandal. I'm just here. Woo. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Honey, we gonna act like darn on Naptural supposed to be on some darn on, okay, I need to get me a rich white man because ain't no viable black man out here. We already know that just trying to find a decent, compatible man, not even thinking of finances, is what, about 1 in 30? For every one qualified black man, there's like 30 women. So we already know that's disproportionate right there. But then when you go into an upper echelon tax bracket to a millionaire status, are we darn gonna saying that women should have to limit their choices even more? Like, are we serious? And like I said, I understand you might not at when you making $1 million a year, you don't want to date somebody who's working at McDonald's per se. But it's like, after a certain tax bracket, I think we can ignore the rules to a certain extent, especially depending on the person's profession. Because Felipe is a nurse, right? And I ain't talking about no CNA, no shade to my CNAs, but Felipe is actually a registered nurse. So he's making roughly about $60,000-$70,000 a year. He goes to work 5-6 days a week, so it's not like he at home eating bonbons all day. It's not like he just got a rinky-dink darn on job. Like, he makes more than a teacher, which is a respectable job. But we are supposed to say that, oh, she dated down, but she got with him when actually he was the breadwinner. That's why I say the situation is more like a housewives type situation, where, you know, she started out, you know, just, you know, doing her thing, and then it just blew up. Just like the housewives, the shows blew up, and now all the housewives, for the most part, except for the white ones, are making more money than their husband, because the white ones, they still got that wealthy money. Versus the black, you know, our brown and black ones, honey, you know, they husbands got like $1 million or $2 million, but they spouses are now worth millions. Like, Nene is worth like $14-15 million. Who else? Kenya is worth conservatively about $2 million. Candy is the exception to the rule. She came in worth 35, and that's another thing right there. Like Candy Burris, she's worth $35 million. Like, who is she going to comfortably find that's above her? Who is she going to comfortably find that's going to go after her? Because once again, you know, Candy's dark skinned, very unambiguous African feet, and you know, the Michael Jordans of the world, they going after people who are looking more like Shakira at the darn darkest. You know, they might date themselves a Latina honey or an Asian woman. That's they darn quote unquote darkness that they going. Or otherwise, they going straight up to a white woman. They don't even date too many light-skinned caramels anymore. Like, the light-skinned red bones are really the last choice nowadays. I remember when the red bone sisters used to be the prize, but hell, the light-skinned black women are actually the last choice, and dark-skinned women are not even an option. So, of course, Candy, by default, has to date down. And she dated darn on somebody who was making, what, $300,000+ a year? Once again. But then the stereotype is that he's he's trying to munch off of Candy and all this, that, and the third. And to the point where now he got to work all this extra hard opening up these restaurants left and right to try to prove a darn on point that he don't need to prove. So it's like, why do we darn on put these darn on high standards on successful women who make it, especially after the fact? Like, to my black women, I know 90% of my subscribers are black women, so I would love to hear y'all thoughts on this. Do y'all think that black women should be forced to not consider viable black men who make significantly less income, even though in the grand scheme of things, the income is still high? Like, for example, if you're somebody like Candy Burris and you're making $35 million, you have a net worth of $35 million, but your husband on his own makes like $300,000 a year. Yeah, that might be substantially less than you, but is that something to sneeze at? When we know that you're in the top 1/3%, and we know already for every one black man, there's 30 women So for Candy's position, it's like for her, it's like shit. Who she's gonna really look at? Hell, she's richer than most football players, really. So y'all can't say, well, she need to go date an athlete, because hell, she would have to go literally towards some of the top tier athletes, and they already taken for by white spouses. So once again, same thing for Whitney. It's like, who y'all expect for somebody like Whitney today? She don't strike me as the type that would go for an athlete, nor should she. So I understood where in regards to B Simone's statements, I'm 50-50 on it. I understood where she was coming from, but it's like, she could have conveyed it a little bit better. Like, I think she was talking about she wants an entrepreneur, a person who aspires to be at an entrepreneur-like mindset where, you know, that they, they can think like her about progressing to make more and more money versus somebody who's in that 9 to 5 working 40 years just to get paid a retirement that's 2/3 of what you're already struggling to live off of now. So I understood her to a certain extent. Okay, I've got a warning, y'all. Let me see if it's going to switch over to my SD card. Okay, for whatever reason, it's not syncing over to my SD card, so I'm going to leave it off here where I got 9 seconds left of recording. So y'all tell me y'all thoughts on this. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all soon with more videos.